Welcome to the Big John Bass Show. Welcome to the Big John Bass Show.
All right, welcome to the Big John Bass Show, a Spurs first football podcast built around honest opinions, my opinions, match reactions, my reactions, and the stuff that modern football gets wrong. Mainly me moaning about modern football and the things that wind me up. I'm Big John Bass. You might know me from the Fighting Cock, and if you have listened to me on there, then you probably know what to expect. Going to be bloated nonsense, and that's not just my physical appearance, but there'll also be opportunities for me to talk about things that I'm passionate about in the game, things that I'm passionate about Spurs, and general football stuff as well. So thinking about all of the stuff that I enjoy talking about on the Fighting Cock, but just my own chance to talk about it myself. New episodes are going to drop every Wednesday. You can get the show on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, hello. How is my new haircut? Do you like it? If you don't, please don't comment. No point. Too late, isn't it? And it'll grow back, so it's fine. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, essentially wherever you get your podcasts, please go and subscribe. Because new podcasts will be dropping every week, like I said, from Wednesday. So this is just a little teaser, so you know what to expect. You can also follow me on TikTok, on X, and on Instagram at The Real John Bass. I'm sure I've told this story before, but the reason I have to put The Real John Bass is there's another John Bass, spelt the same, JONBASS. And he was in a film with Dwayne The Rock Johnson, and Dwayne The Rock Johnson started following me. Because my name is The Real John Bass, and he just assumed, well, this must be the celebrity one, because what sort of civilian would put The Real, as if there was some sort of confusion as to which one it was. Turns out that worked in my favour, because The Rock was following me for a few days. Loads of people then started tweeting me mad stuff, which was quite fun, and then I had a little DM interaction, and he basically, I told him, I confessed my sins, and said, look, this isn't the actor, this is The Real John Bass, not the Hollywood actor, pointless. And I told him, and he basically then said to me, thanks for being a great fan, really appreciate it. Thank you for, being honest. And yeah, since then, me and The Rock have stayed friends. The last bit's probably not true, but ignore that. Anyway, I thought I would just do this little teaser of this pod to talk about the preview tonight against Bournemouth. This is not going to be as in-depth as the normal episodes, but for what it's worth, I think this is a really tricky game for us. I think that this could be one of those horrible games where basically both teams set up to sit in and try and disrupt, which is not going to be great fun. And I don't see that the form of either side going into this being bad is going to change anything. In fact, the opposite. I basically think these teams are prepared for a horrible, stodgy game. Bournemouth, I don't think have won in like 11 games. Tottenham, whilst we have had recent victories against Palace, for example, we're in this stuttery stop-start form, and that's quite painful. I said this actually on the Fighting Cock this week, that I believe that Thomas Frank is a man who focuses on what the opposition are doing, and so as a result of that, I think he'll be focused on what he expects Bournemouth to do, and he probably knows, I'm sure he knows, because he's a professional manager, of course he knows, that they sit in and try and hit teams on the counter-attack. And my worry and concern is that that's exactly what they will plan to do. Thomas Frank, knowing that, will kind of counter-plan against that and find a way to basically sit in and not allow them any space to operate in, which really does make for a kind of a miserable game. I'd also wouldn't be surprised if we saw Palhinha start in this game as a way of breaking up attacks, particularly counter-attacks if there are any. And I could see a world where it's quite a miserable, stodgy game. So that being said, one of the things that Spurs have been good at is set pieces. We are typically better away from home as well. So I could see a world where we nick a draw here or a very tight sort of 1-0 win. I feel like we really need a win here. We've got Bournemouth in this game and then West Ham coming up. I really feel like we have to get 6 points here. So I'll be very disappointed if we don't get that. So yeah, if you'd like to find out how this all goes and get my take from it, like I said, the first full episode of the Big John Bass Show will be next Wednesday. So I'll be able to talk about that, how this game went, how the weekend goes, and then we can really get stuck into what's next with Spurs. So yeah, please subscribe everywhere you get your podcasts, and yeah, come along for the journey. Thanks. Bye.
Welcome to the Big John Bash Show.